Welcome to another video. Once again, I'm in Books and Bitters in Seoul, a great coffee shop slash bar slash library you should check out in Seoul. Today's video is going to answer the question that you will receive the most, guaranteed. If you attend events, if you meet other people, if you tell them that you're a translator, introduce yourself as a translator, anything along those lines, you're going to get the question, which is, aren't you afraid for your job? Isn't AI going to take it over? Isn't ChatGPT going to take it over? Google Bard, Google Translate, what have you. And it's always been something, by the way. This has been going on for years. Before it was Google Translate, Bing Translate even for a while. Before that, it was like Skype Translator and all that stuff. But yeah, it's still going on more and more, and everyone assumes that we're going to be out of a job. I just wanted to give you the definitive answer to this. And in fact, I kind of thought I want to print it on the back of my business cards because I get asked that so much that I feel like I should just be able to hand it out. If I do, I'll let you guys know, and I'll do something easy so you guys can do something similar. But anyway, what's the answer for when people ask whether AI is going to take over? Can mention obviously the quality, but I find that sort of gets lost in the weeds because they assume the quality is getting better and better and better, which it is, but it also isn't. It can't deal with metaphors and similes and innuendos and humor and stuff like that. And so it's and complicated legalese with double negatives in one language that you don't have in the other, and blah blah blah. But fine, let's pretend for one moment that tomorrow all AI and ChatGPT and Google Translate and all that is perfect, 100% at every translation it does. Will we be out of a job? The answer is no. The reason is because of how these operate. All this AI stuff like that, they don't actually translate themselves. What they do is they learn and they improve over time by taking examples that they see. And this is a good method. But what it means is that every time you plug in text into that window you're supposed to plug text into, it ends up on a database somewhere. And you lose all confidentiality. And because of that issue of confidentiality, a lot of companies do not want to use it. In fact, it was in the news a few months ago. Some employees in Samsung got into big trouble because they used ChatGPT for something which they weren't supposed to, and it turns out they got found out because, once again, all the information ends up on a database, and this database is accessible. And in fact, with Google Translate, you could figure out the IP address and when and where it was uploaded and stuff like that. This means that if you are dealing with anything confidential, if you are a law firm, if you are a hospital, if you're a government, if you're, if you have school records, if you have financial records, financial statements, I mean, contracts, personal documents, stuff like that, any of these things that you don't want to become public knowledge, then you do not want to use AI. You don't want to use any of these programs. That's pretty much the long and the short of it. There are variations on this, and people who know a bit more about the industry might come back to you and say, well, DeepL, I know, has something that you can make it private and this, that, and the other. But by and large, the vast majority of people who think AI will change everything, they don't take that into account. And so that's been my go-to answer for everyone. And most people, when they hear it, I mean, pretty much everyone, when they hear it, they're like, oh, yeah, of course, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Now, having said that, I want to add something on to the end. The fact that everyone thinks that we're going to be out of a job soon and that this is the end of the translation industry isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it means that, because actually the translation industry is going to grow, and I can show you some stats and numbers that show you it is going to grow over the next few years, and it's going to keep growing. But if people are scared to become new translators, we're going to have less competition in the future as translators, as good translators. And so if you are a translator and you plan on being a translator, this means that in the future there will be a lot more work and a lot less competition, which could be a very good position to be in. So keep all of this in mind, because it could be quite interesting in the years to come. We'll wait and see how it goes. Right now, I know it's a big roller coaster and there are ups and downs, and a lot of people are losing jobs because of the AI thing. But I still do think that when the dust settles, people will realize that if you want quality, you need to go a certain route. And if you don't care about quality, you'll go the other route, but that won't be good for business. Anyway, that is the answer that I usually give. That is the answer that I recommend to give. and recommend to concentrate on. And in addition to the fact that obviously it still does make plenty of mistakes and it can't keep up. And plus with stuff like localization, transcreation, stuff like that, you know, there's no way that it can know. The fact that marketing in the States, say, is all exclamation points and excited, while in other places it's a lot more subdued and stuff like that. This is stuff that AI hasn't figured out. And it's very hard to explain that to something like AI. So yeah, please feel free to give that answer anytime anyone asks you if the translation industry is dead. Otherwise, I'll talk to you next time. Okay, thanks, bye. Sabiedong.